Good morning, good evening, good night. Mike Martin's here with the Mike Martin's channel. Thanks for joining me, guys. I received an email from just outside of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Somebody asked me, Mike, is there a chance, or could there be a chance, that the civil unrest that's happening right now in the United States of America, or the riots, or the taking down of infrastructure, so to say, that's how I want to put it, would it spread globally? Can it spread globally? Right? So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit today because I got an article here. Let's switch over to article scan here real quick. Right here. 18,000 National Guard troops deployed across the United States. Trump slams lowlifes and losers for riots chaos. So here's a summary. President Trump threatens to deploy military. At least 9 dead, 4,000 arrested. Riots rage in 140 cities as riots rage for the 7th day. National Guard deployed in 29 states, 40 cities to impose strict curfews. Now, let's take a step back to this article here to 140 cities. And I'm begging my friends in America to listen to this because you guys truly, I lived in Dade County, Miami-Dade County, and Broward County in Fort Lauderdale, and even in the Florida Keys for a few months. You guys have it so good in the United States. In comparison to other English-speaking countries, you guys have it the best, by far. And people in the States are like, oh, property tax. No. I live in Canada. And the cost of living is horrendous. The price of food is triple, quadruple what you guys pay. The price of housing is anywhere from 8, sometimes 3 to 8 times higher than what you guys pay. Oh, but people make more money in Canada. No. We get taxed to death, and the cost of living is just, people are 60-70% of their income goes towards paying for a shelter. And most of the times it's just to cover their rent. Where you guys have there's 140 cities rioting, so there's got to be population in those cities. 140 cities. If you took Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the United Kingdom all together, we're lucky if we get 28 major cities, like major, maybe 20. America is so well infrastructurally sound. America's so well built. America has so much potential. You guys got to remember the size of the country you're in. It's big. It's hard to govern. But they do their best, right? Now, I'm not trying to side with the banks. I'm not a fan of the banking system at all. I'm always in favor for the government to do best. Whoever. Just do your best. Don't cross the people. Don't screw over the mass population, right? Because governments should be afraid of their population, not the governments be afraid. People should not be afraid of the governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. I think it was Andrew Jackson. I can't remember who said that, but somebody said that, right? So you guys have it really good. And when I'm watching these riots or kind of flipping through, social media and seeing what's happening, you guys have it so good. You guys have it so good. The average home, the city that I left, the one city in my area here that I live in, that I have to leave 200 miles away, the average cost of a home to get started with me and my family starts at about $830,000. That's just an hour out of my city. And I'm like, I can't spend $830,000 on a home. I can't eat cardboard every day. I need to raise a family. Right? You guys are so lucky down in the States. I just want to throw this out there too to let you guys know. The light at the end of the tunnel is that you guys have options to move and do what you want. You guys have the options to basically start over if you have to. Right? For us, we don't have much of a choice. One of our last cities, Quebec, Montreal, northeast of Ontario, guess what? Bidding wars are happening there today. And today is the 2nd of June, 2020. We're losing our last cities to an economic takeover. Yes, the United States of America has experienced an economic takeover. Yes, they have. I know they have. California has been economically taken over. So has Oregon. And so has Washington State and New York State. Either by wealthy investors that come in, buy up in certain pockets of the areas, then the locals need to relocate. And then I read the article yesterday for you guys in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I'll get the article out for you guys here real quick so you guys can see. You want to watch this where the mass exodus is happening in the United States. So I'll get back to my original question here in 1 second. So here it is, article scan. There it is. Americans fleeing expensive cities. You want to watch that one because it actually shows the zones of pain with money laundering, foreign investing, money being parked in the States, forcing Americans to Arizona, Salt Lake City, Utah, Nevada, all those other places. So, okay. Now, my question to you guys is, the question to me that was asked is, could this go global? Canada, the only thing I see happening in Canada is when people start running out of food. People are already experiencing housing difficulties because they're already behind on their rents. If the government in Canada could properly proportionalize its money and not badly, misspending and stuff, very bad misspending over the last years. If they could figure out ways to reopen this economy and get things back on its feet, I think more people will get sick and die from depression and all kinds of weird stuff outside of the whole fact of what's happening, right? I think, in my opinion, right? Okay, so what else we got going on here? What had happened? Okay, Canada, we can't afford to lose what little infrastructure we have when it comes to our cities. We lose that, and we lose, let's say, our transit or something. We're screwed. We don't have much of. We don't have other cities. We don't have Springfield, and Brookfield, and Jonestown, and all kinds of places to move to. We don't have that, right? Texas has more major cities. Canada, I don't see it. Canada is the land of the docile. I don't see them. I see them protesting. Right, we had the Raven on Mike in the Night. He was protesting in Ottawa. They were discussing. They were, chanting and getting their voices heard and getting their word out there. Fine, yes, that will happen. But what's happening in the States, will it happen in Canada? I don't see it happening in my lifetime. I really don't. And because of our population dwindling of Canadians, I don't think we'll ever see it happen. Right? Okay, now let's go to Mexico. Mexico, yes. But Mexico shuts things down real quick, and they implement the military without any executive orders. Mexico, I could see it happening, but is there cost for it right now in Mexico? No. Mexicans are sitting back and watching the show in America as things unfold. So, no, Mexico, it will not spill into Mexico, right? So the two bordering countries will not be basically affected by this ongoing mass hysteria, civil unrest, right? I'm saying not to destroy the infrastructure. I'm saying to go out, chant, go out, protest, go out, assemble, get signatures, do whatever, sell t-shirts, you know what I'm saying? Don't go out and destroy the property. Infrastructure is very expensive to build. Infrastructure is very hard and very expensive to reconstruct and put back together. Yes, it creates jobs, but it creates public service jobs. You want private sector jobs, not public. Anyways, okay, now let's move over to Central America. Central America has its upheavals and stuff, but a lot of towns and cities have their own built-in militias. Even in parts of southern Mexico, in Ixtapa, like some of the border cities in southern Mexico, have their own militias that patrol and don't have police. And they have friends and family protecting their towns. So that's a little bit different. Central America, same thing. Colombia, do we see civil unrest? Could we see riots sparking out? There's always riots. There's been the Contras there. There's been all kinds of problems with a lot of the freedom fighters and guerrillas. They've been at war for years. Seeing another, yes, I could see it happen in Colombia. Venezuela, there's always unrest in Venezuela. Brazil, yes, you could see the big numbers coming out in Brazil because of the cost of living is just phenomenal, and the cost of operating is just phenomenal, getting out of hand, and Brazil selling off a lot of their electrical and power plants to China. I could see that happening. Europe's always rioting. You got the Gilets jaunes in the Yellow Vest movement in France. You got all kinds. So you do have a lot of you do have a civil unrest and civil disobedience or whatever you want to call it happening in parts of the world. Australia, never. Again, Australia, they shouldn't because they're very limited to what infrastructure they have in cities wise. I don't see it happen in Australia. I do see the Australians kind of like, again, petitioning outside and yelling and screaming and trying to get their governments to work with them. Yes, I could see that. Will they pull an Iceland scenario? Which country will pull an Iceland scenario? What am I talking for an Iceland scenario? Like 10, 11 years ago. Has it been 10 years now? It's been 9 to 10 years, I think, where Iceland's basically banking system, banking cartel, banking, everything in the banking sector basically got arrested by its citizens. The citizens took back the country, got itself off of got itself off all that crap, and Iceland citizens were branded as the big T words, terror, yeah, and they weren't allowed to fly British Airlines because of their taking back of their country. Look it up. It's actually true. What happened? Iceland got fed up because the UK was trying to push on some of its debt onto Iceland to pay off. And Iceland said, screw that. We're not playing English debt. So they just basically took their country back. And now Iceland right now is very prosperous because they got rid of the banking system. How do we solve this, guys? Well, we need to get rid of the fake economy they're building. And right now, they're radicalizing the economy by printing money and buying out the fake economy and creating a fake economy and pushing down right now the real economy and the real players in the economy, the profitable companies in the economies that are profitable, and really hire people are the ones that are getting pushed down and paying for this. So what do they got to do? A lot. We don't want them to. We obviously want capitalism. We want free trade, but we want it fair, right? People want it fair. That's what people want. People want, oh, it's a capitalist country. We come in and open billions of dollars worth of corporations and hire who we think is not going to cause a problem. And then they keep throwing that narrative. Canadians or Americans don't want to do these jobs. We'll do a whole show of how many resumes and applications they throw in the garbage from Canadians, Americans that do want to do those jobs, but they don't get hired because then they start forming a union and organizing. So how do we fix this thing? Well, there's many ways to fix this thing, and it's by unifying and being together and structurally building something that's going to actually create a prosperous future for all of us, guys. Right, I think the banking system is one of the biggest threats, and the reserves, the feds, all that stuff. They need the people and the people. We, the people need to come to some sort of compromisation of the sellout of their futures. The people need to be allowed to say, should we sell? Like Canada sold one of its biggest gold mines to China the other day. We already sold off one of our biggest coal mines to China with no Canadian hires. Do Canadians have a right to say, look, you can't sell us off to China. We can't do this anymore, right? So do the Canadians have a voice, right? In Canada, we don't have much of a choice. But in the United States, you guys still have that. You guys still have something that's very transparent and put together by the Founding Fathers, and it's the Constitution, right? You have your Declaration of Independence. You have your Constitution. You have your Bill of Rights. You guys have all kinds going for you. And I would strongly, start really moving a grassroots party around. Everyone's already coming off the mainstream media. I know the social media has been blocking everybody, but there's got to be a way. If there's a will, there's a way, right? Be positive, love each other, and it's true, love each other. That's the key. If Buddy here loves me, he ain't gonna stab me. If Buddy here loves me, he ain't gonna shoot me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it works, guys. The power of love. It's a lot more powerful than you could ever fathom. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I wanted to send this announcement out there. I'm with you guys. Will it expand globally? You'll have some bushfires here and there, but it won't be as crazy as it is in the United States. I pray for the folks there in the United States that they could find some sort of sense of peace, right? And remember, when it comes to Look what happened to us 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. It was their war. It was their conflict, not ours. What happened 100 years ago in Portugal or 200 years ago in my country of Portugal? It was their problem, not mine. My problem lies here with you guys, fixing this problem, because what happened, happened, right? It was their problem. It shouldn't be all our problem, because we should, again, love each other and be at one with each other. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Share this video, get it out there. Let me know if you're from Australia, if you're from New Zealand, the United Kingdom, if you're from Canada, United States. Do you see this spreading? And if so, how do you see it spreading in your country? Is it worth the destruction of infrastructure? Are our voices getting heard? Are the demands being fulfilled? Lots of love. God bless. Thanks for watching.